I've been thinking about this idea that the daily page is a good idea for me, just a place to kind of dump my ideas, kind of without any structure, no real thought put into it until we turn the camera on. And the interesting part about that is that a lot of people are using a similar structure, but they physically write it down. So I just want to kind of dump some stuff out here. One of the things that I've been thinking about a lot is this idea that Kickstarter has some real potential. We all know what Kickstarter is and how it works, but I think it's being used inappropriately. And what it's not harnessing is the true power of the crowd. So what we know for certain is that the crowd always creates the best solution. It always has the right answer. It always knows, right? The crowd's never wrong. So when you're thinking about doing certain things and the crowd's telling you to do this, chances are that's the right thing to do. So what I've been thinking about is having this like multi-tiered Kickstarter program where the crowd is not only funding the idea, but they're also actively participating in not only the direction of the idea, but the development, the production, the bringing it to market strategy, the delivery method, all these things that currently are not being done in that space. So right now what happens is, as somebody with an idea, you go out there, you figure it all out, then you take it out to Kickstarter and you say, hey, Kickstarter, basically pre-buy my idea, which I think is not the appropriate way to really utilize the power of Kickstarter. So what I'm proposing is that we throw an idea out there and it's like, hey guys, well, my current idea is that I want to bring a liquor brand to market. And I don't care if it's a vodka, a bourbon, whatever, gin, it could be anything. I just want to bring some spirit to market. So I think that my vision would be for the first round, what we're going to do is we're going to set a funding limit of $25,000, for instance, and we're going to say, basically, you're voting on which spirit you'd like to see us bring to market. And what that does is it engages the crowd on this more kind of like connected level, rather than just saying, hey, I'm making liquor and I'd like to sell it to you guys and it's going to be $30 a bottle, please buy it from me, here's my story, right? So what we would do instead is we would say, okay, we want to bring a liquor to market, vote for which one, and in return for your vote you'd get something. I mean, that's kind of the premise of Kickstarter, is that you have to receive a reward. We can't just like give you whatever, but the rewards can be something dumb like a thank you. So hey, for $1, buy which one of these liquors you want to support and we'll send you a thank you. I'll send you, for $5, I'll send you a handwritten thank you note. So then the second round would be, okay, we've taken that money, and what we've done with that money is we've engaged some people in the marketplace at your suggestion. I mean, and then who've had some success in making the selected variety of liquor that you guys have chosen, right? And then we allow those people, and we use that money for production value, to get some videos out there, to go around and interview these people and find them. And then we say, okay, here are the 10 distillers. Here's their stories. Here's the video that we created. We want to engage one of these 10 people to begin the development, and that's what we're going to use the money for in this round, of recipes. And then not only that, so now it's not only have you selected as a participant in this campaign, you've selected the variety, you've also, now you've gotten behind the person who actually makes it. The next step in the process would be bottling and branding and marketing. And at every step, rather than just buying some junk, what you're doing is you're putting your thought and your money behind the direction of this product, not necessarily just buying it for consumption. You're putting your money behind the direction of the product. So I think what I should start working on here is that Kickstarter can be more like a multifaceted campaign approach, where we could say, okay, similar to what you would do if you were starting a real startup, right? You would have round one would be to fund this research and development, for instance. round 2 is to fund this, and it could be this, this, and this. Round 3 is to fund that. Round 4 is to bring the market strategy, and round 5 is manufacturing and distribution. So what could be really cool about all that is that you're really engaging your client base on this new level where now they've got some like buy-in, not just in the fact that they bought it and took a chance on whether or not they'd enjoy it or not, but they were there, part of the process. And I think the benefit of that would be twofold. One, you'd get kind of this very committed customer base, and two, the customers that you have are not only committed, but they've also had the opportunity to say, hey, this is also mine. I have a piece of this now. And engaging the crowd at every level, getting back to what we were saying about the power of the crowd, how it always provides the best solution, could help to make a better product, I think. And at the end of the day, you'd be better at every step. You'd be better at the selection of the variety. You'd be better at the selection of the distiller. You'd be better at the selection of the ultimate recipe. You'd be better at the selection of the distribution or the branding and marketing campaign, and then the distribution model. All those things, having harnessed the power of the crowd, and not only that, but like having harnessed the power of the crowd, you're gonna reach some people with expertise in each one of those levels that you may not have engaged. You certainly wouldn't have engaged them before, and you may have not even reached them previously. And at each funding round, we'll talk openly about, here are the people that we need to be involved in the next funding round to help influence that decision. And if you know those people, if you're somebody who's currently committed to the program, who's involved now, if you know the people at the next round who may be good, so you've selected a gin, and you know a guy who makes gin, and that was what won, put his name in the hat, and you can say, hey, here's my buddy, he makes gin. Go out and talk to him, see if he wants to be involved. The next step could be, well, here's my guy who has worked for Bacardi for 10 years. He knows everything about branding and marketing of a new liquor. Maybe he's somebody that you should talk to about your branding and marketing campaign. Get him involved. Help him develop what will ultimately pitch to the crowd, and that would be, okay, we got this gin. Here's going to be our bottle. You got 3 different decisions on bottles to choose from. Here's our story. Choose that. And I think it'd just be a neat thing. So let's get away from this idea that Kickstarter is really for the funding of manufacturing and distribution. It should be tiered in such a way that you could fund research and development, prototyping, branding and marketing, manufacturing and distribution. And not only should it be structured in such a way that you could fund those things, but you should also be able to, at each step, harness the power of the crowd. Thanks. See you.